I fly in the dark, need to get my mind loose. Have a lip dip, slip into the right mood. The night's new rhyme, still the type to strike till it's getting light, smile and surprise you. I might do. Looking for trouble, I might find you. I might do. Maybe I like you. Maybe I might do. Her voice flicker through the mist in the moonlight. Maroon eyes, shimmer still I soon rise. To move wise, bruised and cocoon, quite right. Out of sight like the night that confused mine. Remove mine, blue till the two twine. Move too true to conclude where the truth lies. Saying you might move, tell me you might do something you couldn't choose, but the dude's like you. So I be seeing nothing but no. Cuffing my soul in a puff of her smoke. Broke, bluffing a joke, cause I nuzzle her nose, ruffle her toes, saying something supposed that love grows.
Sharing the network of information that it belongs to the segment of your siren, and each siren is an area of expertise to formulate into the compass, as each compass, north, east, west, south, is a north, south, southeast in relation to your coordination. And each coordination, once you share the manuscript, you will deselect the reference number of your maturity and to understand the composition of a timer. In return, each timer, once you sequel into the application form, you will unshare the digi, and each digi is an element of the design in relation to your development. And each development, once you compact the zip area, you will also share the delation. In relation to delation, once you mature the age into the node of an area, you can also summation into an area to imprint the design. If there is a conversion of the imprint, the designer needs to somehow work out Justin Fox. In relation to Justin Fox, the area of art director will formulate into the seminar. But each seminar, once you do that, Justin, you will share into the maturity of the knowing program. And each knowing program, once you share into the manuscript, you will element the design into the decompression. And each decompression, once you share the network, you can also contrive the element of the tranny. As each tranny, once you sequel into the equality of the algorithm, you will need the compass. And each compass, once you share into the network, you will also over out the due amount of non-conversion. As each non-conversion, once you sequel the element of your segmentation, you will formulate into the fraction of time. If there is a remosity of time, once you desolute the reference number, you can also share the manuscript into the algorithm. And each algorithm, nationality, the algorithm of nature, you can reverse into democracy of plantif. And each plantif, you will need the compass in relation to your algebra. Because the algebra, nationality, the algorithm of maturity will earn our welfare good in relation to your development. If the compass has been scripted into an area in relation to AE, which is AE. What is AE? AE. Next time, it's not Latin. Next time I'll work AE out for you. It might be a copyright, but the copyright is not a plaintiff because the copyright does or will not belong to the law firm as yet. In relation to the development, each law firm need to supreme the sire. When they supreme the sire, the position of the Supreme Court will share into a honor. And in relation to a honor or development of transmission, all of us will get the Viking. Oh yes. And when we get the Viking, we will share into the imprint in relation to development, the non-insurance. And each non-insurance, once we sector into a transmission of the tranny, the element of the composition will work out the maximum number of data networking in relation to your development. And each development, once you compass the design in relation to information technology, the artificial intelligence will work out the AE, because it could be Latin or WOG, which is Welcome Overseas Guests. One of my old friends in year 11, I really like him. I did. He was a bit short, but he was one of my favorite one. He is a WOG, but he's the one that told me about WOG. He said WOG to me when I was in year 11 and 12. Welcome Overseas Guests. Yes, he is. Yeah, he's my favorite student, that one. Oh no, we were just all students back then. But anyway, in relation to the decimal, the artificial intelligence is a non-conversion of Italy, because in Italy, it will also consumption the area of the know-out. The know-out is by a transmission of the element. If there is a transmission of the element, the correspondence of the manuscript is a scripture, a scripture, or is a scripture, a scripture, or is a scripture of your scriptation or scripture. Because in that relation, the development of information data sharing, you will imprint into a design to share into the network. Once we correspond correctly into the correct procure and to timeshare into a designer. As each designer, the imprint of design, we will also share into a manuscript to unturn the deci. And each deci, the area of interest, we will formulate into a sirum. And each sirum to polygon the non-law or non-pronoun. The conversion of the imprint will be designing into nature, Justin Fox. The area of interest also belongs to a non-conversion of your design. In that way, once you imprint the network to correspond with its maturity and to correct the QR, the element of the design is to unshare the digi. As each digi, once you unshare into the decimal, each decimal you can pinpoint out the artificial intelligence based upon Lefton. And each lepton is the non-conversion of a lamp. Lepton. Lepton is a wiki by Vince, and each Vince is into a non-conversion of the design. Once we do that, we are sharing into a correspondence of the network and to undo the soft amount of tissue care, because each tissue care belongs to the white blade. The white blade is a wiki. Yes, white blade is a wiki. And in return, once it has a white blade, it is a designed imprinting in relation to a non-conversion. Once we import that, we are knowing more into the artificial way. If there is an imprint of the design, the node of each decimal will inflate into its maturity and to understand the composition. As each composition, once we node off into the artifact, we can also inflate into a non-conversion. And each non-conversion, once we imprint into the design, the imprint of technology is to minus the artifact. And each artifact, once we share the network into the correspondence, we can also an amount of tissue paper in relation to select hygiene. But select hygiene is not ready as yet. In return, you can also know more in relation to owning the development of your policy. And each policy is a government to governor in relation to the career and deal. And each deal in career is a deletion of your reference number, because in return, each way of measurement is an area of expertise in relation to your development. If there is a conversion of the imprint, you can also design into the artificial way. The correspondence of the network is to unshare the soft amount of tissue paper once you know more in relation to the development, because each development, once you share into the network, you can also correspond correctly into the digi. And each digi is the element of the design in relation to your developer. Because in return, once you develop the information technology, the undigi can also correspond with its maturity. And nationally, the understanding of the peripherum is equalizing into an algorithm. Naturally, the correspondence of the network, you can also sequence the application form. If there is a correspondence of the maturity, to understand the artificial intelligence, the information technology will also work out the algorithm of nature to correct the concur and also timeshare into the imprint, to design the information technology and to data rate sharing storm or something. In the development of sharing storm or storm, it is a sequence of ruby, and each ruby we are mapping the condition of nature in relation to the developer, the need to impact the design and to print out the digi. And each digi is the element of the design in relation to your non-conversion. Because the non-conversion cannot equal the math, but in return, nationally, the understanding of Sirum is to equalize your position. Trời đất ơi, cái này là cái gì? Vui đi, cái này là cái gì? Bá. Ngày trước bá hút thuốc mà phải không? Bởi vậy con copy bá. Con thương bá nhiều lắm. Nói chuyện chi? Ừ, đúng rồi. Oh. In return, nationally, nature or the correspondence of your manuscript, you can also design the imprint. When you design the imprint, the designing is mapping itself in relation to building the relationship. Once you build the relationship, the artificial intelligence will also work out the maximum number of data sharing to design the technology and to also can share the element of your scenario and to case study the application form. If there is an impact, the design will actually artificially degrade itself into technology, and each technology you will also even out the partition, and each partition, because the partition is a different pronunciation in relation to partition, because the partition will sound like mathematician, but in relation to a node of area, any area of interest is a correspondence of your maturity and to understand the nationality based upon the area of expertise to formulate into a digi. And each digi is a formula of your correspondence to apply for achievable manner. Oh, it's windy. I know when it's windy, it's quite noisy. You can't hear my voice. In relation to the development, the artificial intelligence will also unneed the compass. And when it unneed the compass, the area of expertise will formulate into each digi. And each digi, once we formulate into each digi, the artificial intelligence will correspond with its network and to undo the soft amount of correction. In relation to your development, the need of care is a case study to manage the application form and also to unshare the element of the design. If there is a compass based upon the digi, each digi is an element of the design. In this way, once you do that, the case study can also study the application form and to can share the applicable fee. If there is non-pronoun or reversity of time, you can also undo the soft amount of data networking before you can DAT the encryption. Very hard, my friend. DE or ED? Ed. ED or DE? DAT encryption. It's complex. Very, very, very complex for NASA. Very hard, my friend. Very hard.